Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's jet descended through the summer sky, the Italian sun casting golden light across the tarmac at Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome. And as the plane doors opened, the most watched couple on the planet appeared, hand in hand, stepping out like leads from a romantic film. Taylor wore a classic black boatneck dress with pearls, her blonde hair brushing her shoulders, eyes shining with anticipation. And Travis, ever the grounded star, stood beside her in a crisp white shirt and his signature red and black baseball cap, the two of them grinning wide as they took their first steps into the heart of Italy, ready to begin a 2-week adventure that promised as much sweetness as the summer itself. No sooner had they cleared customs than their driver whisked them away to the Renaissance Mall, Rome's gleaming temple of fashion and style, where marble floors reflected the light from grand European chandeliers overhead and Italian voices echoed softly in the air. Taylor's excitement was palpable as they walked arm in arm through the lobby, pausing beneath a cluster of crystal lights as she pointed out a display of perfumes from Florence she'd always wanted to try. "Let's test them all," Travis said, grinning. "I want to find the one that smells like you after a show." Taylor laughed, squeezing his hand, and together they wandered through the aisles, stopping at a counter where the air shimmered with scents of bergamot, rose, and sandalwood. She closed her eyes, breathing in the aroma, while Travis watched her, already thinking about which one she'd love most. They continued on, pausing next at a display of handmade leather bags by a local designer, and Taylor lifted one with both hands, tracing the stitching. "This reminds me of my grandma's old bag," she said, slipping the strap over her shoulder and spinning for Travis's approval. He stepped closer, gently adjusting the length, then whispered, "We're getting it. But let me surprise you." Taylor moved on to try some shoes, her laughter trailing behind her as Travis slipped away to the jewelry counter, where he worked with a staff member to pick out a gold-plated necklace with a ruby pendant, the deep red stone gleaming like a promise. When Taylor returned, he quietly draped the necklace around her neck, the cool metal settling against her skin, and she caught her breath, pressing her hand to the pendant as she looked up at him. "You always know how to surprise me," she murmured, her voice soft and grateful. Their shopping adventure stretched on for over an hour, with the couple pausing to admire everything from silk scarves to hand-painted ceramics. Travis carrying bags, Taylor occasionally snapping photos. On her phone, both of them so relaxed they seemed to forget the world was watching. Subscribe for more romantic stories and exclusive celebrity moments. When they finally reached the rooftop food court, they found a quiet table overlooking the terracotta rooftops of Piazza Venezia. The city spread out before them like a painting. They ordered 2 rich Italian cappuccinos and a double helping of tiramisu, the creamy dessert, arriving in a swirl of cocoa and mascarpone. Taylor leaned back, resting her head on Travis's shoulder, whispering, "Nothing beats an afternoon cappuccino in Rome." Travis pressed a kiss to her forehead, replying, "The only thing I'm addicted to is you." Nearby, an older Italian couple began playing jazz on a saxophone, the music floating across the rooftop. And Taylor nodded to the beat, her foot tapping beneath the table. With a playful grin, Travis stood and offered his hand. "Would you dance with me?" And Taylor, eyes sparkling, stood and let him lead her in a slow spin, their laughter mingling with the music as they moved together, the city watching but fading away, leaving only the two of them swaying under the open sky. Afterward, as they left the mall, a group of American students recognized Taylor, one girl bursting into tears as she gasped, "You wrote the soundtrack of my life." Taylor immediately enveloped her in a hug, while Travis offered to take a selfie with the group, asking them where they were from and offering tips about the best pizza in Trastevere. "We're heading there tonight. You should try it too," he added, his friendliness dissolving any barrier between them and the fans. No security hovered nearby, just 2 people sharing a moment with strangers, their kindness as genuine as their smiles. As the sun set behind the domes and spires of Rome, painting the city in gold and pink, Taylor and Travis slipped into the back seat of their car, the city's energy swirling outside, while inside, it was just the two of them. Taylor leaned her head on his shoulder, whispering, "Every place is special with you." And Travis squeezed her hand, his reply soft but certain, "We belong together, no matter where." The car wound through bustling streets, past fountains and ancient ruins. Heading toward their hotel on Via Veneto, the city lights blinking on one by one as evening fell. In the quiet of their suite, Taylor slipped out onto the balcony, gazing out at the city, Travis joining her, their arms wrapped around each other as they watched the world below. They talked about their day, about the perfume she'd chosen and the bag he'd secretly bought, about the necklace still warm against her collarbone, about dancing on the rooftop and the kindness of strangers. They made plans for the days ahead, visiting the Colosseum, exploring art galleries, tasting every Roman specialty they could find, and wandering hand in hand through cobbled streets where history whispered beneath their steps. Each night, Taylor played soft Italian music from her phone, the melodies drifting through the open windows as they lay side by side. The city's heartbeat slow and steady outside. Travis promised her more surprises, telling her about a hidden gelateria he wanted to visit, and a secret garden near the Spanish Steps. Taylor, in turn, promised him laughter, adventure, and a new song she'd started writing on the flight over. The lyrics tucked away in her journal, inspired by the rush of new experiences and old love. They toasted with glasses of local wine, the clink of crystal echoing softly, and promised to remember these moments forever. The next morning, they rose early, slipping out before the city fully woke, and found a small bakery where they shared flaky cornetti and strong espresso, the owner smiling at their easy affection. They wandered through bustling markets, pausing to buy fresh fruit and to listen to a street musician playing the violin. Taylor bought a bouquet of wildflowers, pressing them between the pages of her journal, while Travis snapped photos of her laughing in the sunlight, the world around them fading into the background. They visited ancient ruins, climbed the Spanish Steps, tossed coins into the Trevi Fountain, and made wishes, their fingers entwined as they whispered their hopes for the future. At lunch, they found a quiet trattoria, the table tucked away in a shady courtyard, and lingered over plates of pasta and fresh bread, their conversation easy, their laughter contagious. Travis asked about Taylor's favorite memories from past trips, and she told stories of childhood vacations, of dreams she'd had about seeing Rome, of songs she'd written late at night, with the hope of exploring the world with someone she loved. Travis listened, his eyes soft, his hand never leaving hers, promising her new memories, new adventures, new verses to add to all the old songs. As the afternoon faded into evening, they returned to their hotel to rest, planning for a sunset walk along the Tiber River, where the city's lights would shimmer on the water and the air would be filled with the scent of jasmine and evening rain. Taylor changed into a flowing dress, Travis into a crisp shirt, and together they stepped out into the night, their footsteps echoing softly as they wandered beneath glowing street lamps, pausing to watch the city come alive around them. They found a quiet bench by the river, sitting close as they watched boats drift by, the world slowing down just enough for them to catch their breath and savor the moment. Subscribe for more stories like this, and all the latest on Taylor and Travis's Summer Abroad.